Welcome to Hello World by Hannah Fry. Alright, this is a summary of Hello World, which is described as how to be human in the age of the machine. Now, this book was written in 2018. I am reading this in 2024, and currently it's also one of the hottest books in time. In fact, it won the Barry Gittler Prize for Nonfiction in 2018, and so I thought it was worth a read. And so, along with the rest of my library books on actual nonfiction that sounds a lot like fiction, you can go ahead and read Hello World a lot as well too. Now, Hello World starts out and telling us about an explanation of the title. Apparently, Hannah Fry herself went ahead and wrote the book mainly because, well, when she was 7 years old, her dad bought Hannah and her sister's a ZX Spectrum, a little 8-bit computer, which was probably outdated by the time that arrived at her house by 5 years, and it was actually probably a bit more friendly. She went ahead and started doing things, started writing codes, and eventually she went ahead and became went into the world as well too. Went into her PhD as well as things too. Speaking of Hannah Fry and her PhD, according to this thing, Hannah Fry is an associate professor in mathematics at the University College London. So she basically has her day job as the mathematical models to study patterns in actual human behaviors, and she has actually worked for governments, workforces, health analysts, and supermarkets as well too. There's so much more that we could go ahead and talk about her, but then again, this is a video about Hello World. Now, Hello World talks about how we could go ahead and start realizing the algorithms and how we should live our lives inside this world of the human age. In fact, the platform you're using to watch the video and the platform I'm using to create this video is pretty much created with an algorithm in mind, or at least someone who creates this and makes us an algorithm or something. Software updates our algorithms that just give us annoying notifications when we don't want to. And Adam Kay basically goes at Adam Kay's books, these two books over here, basically go ahead and tell us about things the fun way. It's like Horrible Histories, but without the horrible bit. Other things that we can go ahead and talk about in Hello World, it talks about in Hello World, is how the algorithm has taken over things. YouTube has an algorithm, Spotify has an algorithm, Netflix has an algorithm. Also, I don't watch Netflix. Yeah, that sounds like a crime for some reason. But again, book recommendation systems in libraries and even Amazon, when they started, were actually pretty up the hype. In fact, Kindle itself, I'm pretty sure could have a book recommendation system. Most sites actually do have a book recommendation system. Now, what does this have to do with Hello World? Basically, even self-driving cars are on the line now. In fact, Tesla pretty much has every car created since 2019 as having an autopilot built in it, including the ones in China. But the problem is not a lot of people actually use them, and the people who do use it, there are some consequences. Some of the consequences being that in the car, well, it requires human attention, human intervention every, let's say, 200,000 miles compared to the previous 2,000 miles. That basically means a human who hasn't driven for a year and has been using and relied heavily on self-driving cars is now suddenly told, "Hey, I don't know how to do this. Your turn now. Sorry for making you wait for 5 years. I really hope you remember all that experience that was taught to you 6 years ago. But hey." Thanks for letting me drive for 5 years. Now it's your turn for a few minutes. Bye bye. Good luck. And a person who hasn't went ahead and driven for 5 years, probably forgotten a lot, basically you just tell them you should do it as professionally as you did years ago. Of course, that person's out of practice, and unless that person's pretty good at remembering things, that person is most likely going to crash without the help of at least an autopilot, and the autopilot is terrible at that situation, and so, well, you're doomed. You got a doomed person. So much other things actually go ahead inside our entire world as well. So it's not only cars, it's also the autopilot in planes. The problem with that is that when planes get the plane autopilot system basically goes ahead and realizes that it has no idea how to do something, then it just goes ahead and says intervention, human intervention, and one of the person who goes ahead and the pilot has relied heavily on that autopilot for, say, 9,000 miles. How is that person supposed to know what is going to happen? They're going to panic. They're going to try to keep going up when they should be going down to stop turbulence, and instead of free falling for several minutes, which would lead into a too late for going down, and so you're going to crash and then you die, which is sad. Not only sad, it's also devastating, just because of an algorithm. And then, of course, we also have data. Data crunching is pretty important, and in fact, medicine is also one of the most important things inside algorithms as well. So, algorithms have been created to create better diagnostics than regular humans should, but then again, sometimes humans do a better job at diagnosing than, well, algorithms do. And so, of course, humans themselves have to train the AI, or in this case, our medicine, into doing things as well, too. And the justice system. The justice system also gives us false positives, and false negatives, as well as a true positive. Those are four terms that are going to get around a lot. But then again, it's a little weird as well too. When something is true positive, that basically means that person is basically identified as a cheater, and that person is a cheater, or identified as a suspect, and that person is the suspect, is the person who actually did it. While false negatives are like, well, it says that the algorithm says that he's a suspect, but he's not a suspect. False positives are like the algorithm says, okay, so false positives are the algorithm says you're a suspect, and then the reality is you're innocent. And then a false negative basically means the algorithm says you are innocent when you are actually guilty of something, and so is true for false. So it's true for false positives and positive positives and true positives and false negatives. Well, true negatives. Lots and lots of things and lots of turns later, we can go ahead and basically figure out things as well too. We get powers, we get data, we even get justice system. The problem with the justice system is no, it's not perfect, but it doesn't even try to be perfect. So pretty much your sentence, how harsh your sentence is going to be, is how lucky or unlucky you are to be in front of a certain judge. Compare these two situations. This is a true story, by the way. There was this riots happening, mainly because, well, there was problems. The UK government sucked back then, and so they went ahead. Lots of people went to the streets, rioted, and lots of people were arrested. And there are two particular cases. One of them was a school teacher who is going his usual route, and he realized he was thirsty. He never done any crime. He does not have a criminal record, and was just thirsty. So he walks into a store and he helps himself to a 18-pound water bottle, and then the police arrive outside, catch him, and he just realizes what is that. He drops the case and runs away. Another case is that someone watches on TV, realizing that everything's rioting. He drives down to his local store, realizes it's being rioted, and he steals a couple of video games as well as some food. He plays it for a while. He gets arrested by the police because, well, he did a stupid thing on parking right in front of a camera, right in front of a CCTV camera. And last but not least, this is literally what happens. So what happened, you ask? The person who stole the video games and just went ahead and parked his car in front of the CCTV camera gets a 6-month, not in prison, but labor. Required ones, by the way. And the teacher, who's never had a criminal record before, by the way, the guy who stole the video games actually had a criminal history. The school teacher who just decided to help himself to just a little bottle of water, basically went ahead and pleaded guilty, has never had a criminal record before, went ahead and was given a full year in jail, which is pretty unfair. If you were judging the case, you would reverse the options, wouldn't you? In fact, there was this case study that was given to judges. Some of them were based on the same cases, exact same details, just that the names were different. The names were switched just so that the judges wouldn't be able to even make the same decisions, or at least wouldn't think that they were the same cases. And in fact, judges themselves actually have a hard time giving their own plea towards one case. In fact, in two cases, one judge basically said one case that person was guilty. The other case, it was basically the same case, just different person. That person was a bit innocent. Now that doesn't make a lot of sense. How is that the same person with the same criminal history, same things, same diagnostics, all those kinds of things, get different juries and different sentences from the same judge? That's the thing. The justice system is flawed, but no one wants to fix the flaws. Crime cars, we can go ahead and use it to lower down crime rates. In fact, sometimes some people are actually misdiagnosed because the algorithm is pretty bad at matching faces. In fact, algorithms like the Face ID ones that iPhones use, they go ahead, instead of looking at your entire face, they go ahead and look at the things, a part of your face that don't change, which so kids can inherit. So technically, your 10-year-old boy can technically go ahead and use the Face ID on your mom's phone. Go ahead and just look at her messages, mainly because they have the exact same areas where things don't change. You can inherit that, which is terrible thing as well too. And the glasses with different lines at the bottom with the entire white glasses with different shades of black lines at the bottom to just go ahead and create different illusions, at least towards an iPhone camera, to make it think that this is a different face, or you can go ahead and think that it's a different face and you can unlock someone's iPhone. Well, Clark Kent was up to something. Superman was up to something when he decided to become Clark Kent by just adding glasses. That's actually a lot of things. And art, a back piece, a short back piece that was genuine but not very well known, was played compared to something that was composed by the person organizing the poll, and then another created by AI. Everyone said the AI was genuine back. That the composer's piece was AI, and the original back piece was the composer's piece. Okay, and when they were told that they got exactly every answer choice wrong, well, they were all mad, and I can understand it as well too. That's pretty much what Hello World is. It discusses how we can be a human, how the algorithms taken over our world, and that we probably shouldn't be heavily relying on them as well too. And that's it. That is Hello World, How to Be Human in the Age of the Machine. So this is a summary of the book. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you guys soon. And so until next time, Shanana, peace. Bye-bye.